Hello, everyone. Welcome to New York Textile Month. We have one of our last talks today with Soojin Kang. Soojin is a teacher at MFA Textiles program at Parsons and a very talented designer and has a very big know-how in terms of technology and design. So Soojin is going to share with us both her work and also her methods in working with technology. And I'm very happy to introduce her and to have her here with us, sharing her work with us. And I also want to remind you that we still have some exhibitions going on, so please check our website, textilemonth.nyc, and especially check out the exhibitions at Mana Contemporary in New Jersey and Urban Zen in New York. Both are MFA Textiles exhibitions, both graduates and faculty. So, and then there's still a lot more, so please check out our website. So welcome, Soojin. I look forward to hear your talk.
Thank you, Regna, for the nice introduction. And hello, everyone. It's lovely to be here and meet you all. I'm very excited to be here and share my experience as a designer and my passion for digital knitting and design technology by using Shima Seiki and Cloud 3D. So I'm going to share my screen and then continue talking. Okay, let me know you can see the full screen.
Yes, you can see the full screen.
Okay. So my name is Soojin Kang. I'm originally from South Korea, Seoul. It's been 17 years, me living in New York City for study and work. And before I start my presentation, I want to talk about who I am and what I do for living in creative spaces by doing different jobs and roles. Designer. I started my career as a knitwear designer and step into a consultant role after more than 15 years of experiences. I now teach full-time at Parsons School of Design in the fashion and textile departments. I continue research on new technology and innovations. I often collaborate with different artists and industries. I am developing my startup company called Wearable 3D, which is to build 3D fashion digital design assets and a tutorial-based online platform. I run my knitting atelier in New Jersey and my place for knitting practices. So now let's get started by looking at images and videos I have prepared to talk further. Okay, so first page that you're seeing, this is one of my work samples I did for Victoria Hayes, fashion company based in New York City. They were a young brand with a small team who did not have any sweater expertise and resources for yarns and manufacturers. I joined as a seasonal consultant. I was taken care of from prototyping to production for sweaters. And Victoria came up with an artwork idea drawn by hand. Then the artwork gets scanned and passed to me in AI Illustrator, file in 100% file size. So the image that you are seeing your upper left corner is the Victoria Hayes hand-drawn sketches. Then I take the AI file open with Shima design software and start to convert those artwork into a jacquard knitting by setting up the right gauge and rework to fix some graphics to match back to the original artwork. So the image that you are seeing in the middle, it's converted into jacquard knitting with the virtual design with the Shima Seiki software. And once I finished my work, I will pass this file to manufacturer with the tech pack. So the outcome is what you see, what you're seeing on the right side. And this is the first proto taken to photo shoot for their lookbook. Okay, So second page is interface of the Shima Seiki knit software. I just wanted to explain and show you a little bit more of how it looks like. Because oftentimes when I talk about the Shima Seiki software, people think about the actual knitting machine. But Shima Seiki has two parts. One is the hardware part and another part is the software. And what I do is the software part. And software, you have a programming part and you have a design part. And the picture that you're seeing is more about the programming part. So different colors and different numbers takes a different information. So different number and different colors means different stitches and different stitch constructions and needle transferring. So these are all the data that's necessary to able to move the actual knitting machine. And I went to Shima Seiki Japan headquarters in Japan, and I took the training class like a 40, it's not even 40 hours. I mean, it's more than 40 hours. I went there like a 9 to 5, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for a month, Monday to Friday. So it was very intensive course, and it's not the skill set that you can obtain within a week or two. So it takes very intensive training and practices. And then after you finish the training, they will give you the certificate. So the picture that you're seeing on the right corner is me after the training with my trainer. Okay. So next page you're seeing is the virtual 3D design in Shima software. So Shima software also have 2D pattern and 3D pattern. So meaning like a 2D pattern on your right side, you can see the garment pattern in flat, and left side is you seeing in simulated version. So, after knitting, this is how it looks like with that 3D pattern simulated. Okay. And next page, this one, I also wanted to show you after you have a pattern pieces, like how this assemble together. So the yellow line that you are seeing is the virtual sewing machine. So these are the sewing lines. And I'm going to click. Yes, so if you simulate, then you can see, in action. So all those sewing lines is coming together, and then it shows you what the final will look like. So this is one of my just still progress picture. Okay. And also within the Shima Seiki software, you can also apply different knit structures. So in the middle, I designed some pointail stitches, and then I also apply that into my 3D simulations. So you can see in shape, and you can see the textures and tactile of it. And you can see the final look with the final colors. So this is just one of the example of how the 3D software works with the Shima software. Okay. So next page, you're seeing this is the actual computer knitting machine. So this is the hardware part. And this is the video I took when I traveled to their Japan headquarters office. So the one you are seeing on the left side here, this is called whole garment knitting machine. So actually this one has the full knitting bed instead of 2 knitting beds. Traditionally, you have the double bed with just like 2 knitting bed, upper bed and lower bed. But this one has a 4 knitting beds to able to knit the whole garment at the same time. Okay, so let me play the video how the actual whole garment knitting machine operates. Okay. The right side picture that you are seeing is the tension unit, and it was in the video. So this controls the yarn tension perfectly. So during the knitting, if the yarn broke, then machine will just stop and then make an alarm. So technician can come back to the knitting machine and then fix the yarn so it can continue knitting. And the below image is when I open the knitting machine. So you will see, it's really hard to see the backside, but you see upper bed and lower bed, and they also have backside, upper bed, and lower bed. So they have a four knitting beds. Traditionally, the double bed has traditionally other knitting machine is double bed, but for whole garment knitting machine is a full bed. So you can knit the body and then two sleeves together. And this will join the linking seam while they knitting. So we don't have to sew the side seam or sleeve or neck trim afterwards. So this just like link at the same time. So it's kind of the 3D printing, you have to finish the garment coming out of it. Okay, so let's go to the next video. So the first image that you're seeing on the upper left corner is the finished piece from the previous video. So I put some like pointail knit structures, and I did the color blocks, and I did a turtleneck. And then the image that you see below, the gray color turtleneck, is the second fit sample. So after I finished the first sample, I realized the front neck trim, front neck drop was a bit high. So we dropped the front neck drop, and then we just reprogrammed it and then made a second sample in same day. So this taken like 40 minutes to re-knit the whole piece, but then it's more time consuming for fixing and, like correcting the programming part. So yeah, knitting is like not a big time consuming problem, but then it's really for the programming. And whole garment knitting machine is such a special knitting machine. So it has some limitations. So some part, it's very easy to do in DBA or just normal knitting machine. But with the whole garment knitting machine, because you are knitting with a full different knitting beds, there are some limitations, and it's very important that you have to understand what works and what doesn't work technically. So the red sweater that you are seeing is the cocoon body sweater, and that is the main reason I have to travel all the way to Japan. Because I designed for one company who purchased a whole garment knitting machine, and I designed for them for whole seasonal sweaters. And then I had a lot of pushback from the programmer that they are saying, we cannot do that for technical issues. So I really wanted to find out, is this the machine problem, or is this the, something that programmer has to work further? So I traveled to Japan, and I worked with a very experienced programmer. And then I found out to able to do some like a new shape that's not already made, done in templates within the software, then you have to know how to build a code, like a coding. So this is, I work with whole day with the experienced programmer who knows how to build a code and then, build something from the scratch. And the horizontal knitting, also, I wanted to do a lot of drop shoulder styles, but then the drop shoulder is a tricky with the whole garment knitting machine. And also even the cardigan that's overlapping more than like ½ inch, you have to like knit in different way, like a whole tubular circular way instead of just doing a regular flat knitting machine. So that's something that you also have to understand how the machine works. And the right video is the one that instead of doing a normal vertical knitting, we tried in a horizontal way so you can have the drop shoulder. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so Claude 3D. Claude 3D is a very similar software as Shima Seiki Apex 3. So Claude 3D is more known for cut and sew. So anything like a jacket or active wear, besides the sweater, like you can do any categories in Claude 3D. And also you can do sweater, but this one doesn't, Claude 3D cannot generate knit stitches, or this doesn't generate and show virtually for full fashion mark. So that's the only thing. But then Claude 3D is also very amazing software. It's really intuitive to use. And there are a lot of tutorials out there. And also it's very user-friendly. And also the price-wise is very reasonable and affordable for everyone. So this is, growing really fast in the industry. And then also in academia setting, the education is adopting the new virtual 3D design software these days. And also Parsons School of Design, we adopted this new way of designing the 3D design technology into our core curriculum. So from the junior year, all of our students start to using this software. So they can also continue using for year 4. And they can have it for their portfolio. All right, so this video, I just wanted to give also a little bit of overview of how Kulo 3D works and what it looks like. So I made a quick example of a few pages to explain the process and workflow. So the image that you're seeing is the interface when you open the Klo, and then I designed something here. So in the 3D window on the left, and then 2D window on the right. So 2D window, you can see the garment pattern in flat, and 3D window is where you can see the avatar and then garments in 3D, like a simulated and assembled together. And also you have a toolbar and you have a library to pull out the avatar and fabric and trims. And you have the right side is the BOM, like the build of materials. You can pull out the fabric and buttons and top stitches, whatever details that you are using. And below is the property editor according to all of different elements that you are using in BOM. All right. So next page is some quick process I wanted to show you. If you're a designer and if you never use Klo 3D, then this is some great example that you can think about where Klo 3D can come in and accelerate your speed and help you in communication with the industry to increase the productivity and efficiency. So the sketch is, so let's look at the sketch first. So I designed some V-neck sweater, like drop shoulder and a little bit loose fit and high-low hem. And I wanted to design this sweater in real. So before I ask factory to knit this, I come up with the measurement first, like a really base measurement. What is the body length and what is the chest width and sweep and what is the trim that I'm thinking, what is the sleeve length and armhole and things like that. So put down on the base measurement for your design. And I took this measurement into Klo 3D software and then I create the pattern. So I did a pattern drafting in Klo 3D right away instead of doing a physical paper. And after I draft the pattern, I applied some colors and materials. And in terms of the materials, here is where the Shima Seiki software is coming in. So me as a designer and who also knows both software, Shima Seiki and Klo 3D, I was able to create and generate the virtual swatch first in Shima. So I scanned the specific yarn that I wanted to use for actual sweater. And then Shima also has the specific yarn scanner. So I scanned the yarn and then I input the yarn info and then register to the system. So such as what is the content of the yarn and thickness of the yarn and what is the character of the yarn, such as is it straight or marled or something like that. And the number 3, design a stitch in specific gauge. So I can generate the swatch in 5 gauge. That's what I want for the physical sample. And I also simulate for virtual knit swatch. And I put the knit structure. And what you're seeing right now is the half cardigan stitch. Okay. And then I open the virtual swatch in Klo 3D, and then I apply that into my pattern. And then I did a virtual sewing, and this is what you're seeing in Avatar. I also wanted to have the color block. And you can change from avatar to hanger looking. So if you want to do some e-commerce and you want to show your garment without the avatar or create some like a showroom, environments, you can do that. The next image that you're seeing, I want to show you the comparison. So the left side is the virtual garment, include 3D. So this is virtual. And the right side is the real finished physical garment from the factory. So as you can see, there is not much like a big differences or like a big, large surprise that, oh, this is not what I designed, or this is not, you know, what I was expecting. So yeah, I mean, this is very easy for communication between me and factory, and you know, they were very clear on what they're making, and then I can also see what the finished fit will look like, and also the stitch and colors and all that. All right. Okay, so this is so far I showed you a little bit of my consultant part of the role and world, and I wanted to show you some of my knit work that I have done in my recent years. So the first project is called Movement of Music. And this project, I was more focused on stitch manipulations and graphics. And the image that you're seeing is from my starting point of inspiration. So I played the classical music, and it was the Beethoven music, and the software I was using is to educate children how to read the music. So while the music playing, you can see the different graphic. So you can see the line is moving, and depends on the rhythm and notes and melody, you know, the graphic changes. And that looks very fascinating for me to transfer that into some knit stitches. So this is one of the process. So I did some simple pattern that I can draw the colors, and I can think about the stripes. So this is my paper pattern, and then I color with the pencil where I want to put different color of stitches in different lengths. And then the middle image is my muslin, like a quick muslin, and just knowing like, oh, the shape is going to be like that, and then where I want to put my graphics. And then third image is done by Dubier knitting machine. So I use the double bed, and then the back bed is all stripe changing, and then front bed, I'm like transferring some needles. So you can see the clearer color for like what color I'm using in the back. All right. And then, yeah, these are the pictures of like a 3 looks that I have created from the movement of music. I also wanted to incorporate how can I make a more variety of the stripes, like yeah, different size of the stripe, but then also how can I make more broken stripe, like a short stripes. So I was using the holding cam, so like a partial knitting. So some part I'm using double bed, and some part I'm using single bed. So you can see different color, and then I can have like different thickness of the fabric too. And also I use the drawstring to change the silhouettes and shapes. So I can bring some, yeah, the dynamics in silhouette and shapes. And I wanted to share the momentum that when I was listening to the music. And this is currently showing with the Industrious Bodies MFA Textile exhibit. So this one is happening at Urban Zen until October 10. So yeah, this is where you can see our Parsons School of Fashion, MFA Textile students work, and recent graduates, and also faculty works as a community. So please come and check it out. And second project is called Movement of Body. So this project, I wanted to more focus on 3D textures and surface. So this start from looking the word balance. So I'm obsessed on the word balance, and I'm the person who looking into like everything in balance. So I was thinking like, okay, balance is really important in my life, and I want to visualize how can I use the balance into garment idea. And I was thinking maybe the ballet dancers and ballerinas movements can, you know, really well representing the, you know, balance, because they are holding their whole body and weight with their tiptoe. And that was really fascinating point for me to look at their movement. So these are the quick sketches I did. So I visit the ballet class in Manhattan. So I asked the teacher that I'm a student or I'm a designer and I want to sketch ballerinas movement. So can I sit in the back of the class and, you know, quietly sketch them? So yeah, so this is from that process, and it was really nice research process. You know, they were playing the live piano and the ballerinas stretching their legs and arms and body, and I was able to capture their movements really quickly. And another part of the research, I also visit the Lincoln Center, New York City Ballet, and I also get the ticket from the very upper part. Like, so I wanted to sketch in different perspective, in a different view. So that was from that. Okay. Yeah, and then from that movement, I wanted to incorporate that into my knitting, and I wanted to create the volume and then the, you know, the lively texture. So this is the part of the process. So I knit a swatch and I place them into arm movement or body movement or leg movement, and then adding the drawstring. And then I also input some very light material that can hold some shapes. So I used the double bed and opened the double bed and used the insert the light material, like a kind of plastic tubular type of material, into the real tubular knitting. And then when I pull the string, it changed the shape, and then I can create the silhouettes. And all of those looks are made in very large size of the fabric. So there is no waste and nothing is cut out and everything is fully fashioned. So these are, you're looking at me working on the garment for the final fit. And also this work is currently exhibiting in materialistic exhibition. And also this is exhibited at Mana Contemporary in New Jersey. So please go and check. This will showing until November 20th. And then this is the quick video from the exhibition. So I used the lurex yarn. So you can see some material, the shiny material that is the lurex. And these are all Italian yarn that is sponsored at the time from the Olivo yarn. So I'm using the cotton yarn and lurex yarn, and these are done by 2BA knitting machine. Okay, so my last project that I want to share with you today is the code and decode. So this project is focusing more on looking into draping and forms. Okay, so first starting point is the QR code. I was able to make my soojinkang.com with the QR code. The website address changed now, but that was the address that I generated. And I was very fascinated that, you know, the different geographic shape, this geo shape generates and contains different data. So that's how I started. And then looking into the QR code, that is so fascinating for me. And I wanted to like change that into, you know, what if I change the color? What if I, you know, distort the shape? Will that still work? And then I was playing around, and then I was still able to, you know, get able to scan even I change some colors and, you know, changing the shape. So I found out you can distort anything like up to 30%, and then that's still readable. And then after, you know, I came here, I really like the color and then kind of the joyful, kind of the game, you know, environment. And I wanted to regenerate that into garment. And I did a lot of different trial and ended up using the actual puzzle pieces as my pattern piece. And also the reason I wanted to use the unconventional shape for my sweater garment is sweater design is when you go to, you know, look at the market right now, still now, all of the sweaters are pretty much blocked shape. So it's like just square, you know, like sweater with the V-neck or turtleneck or U-neck crew neck, and sleeve is just regular sleeve or satin sleeve or drop shoulder. And I was always wondering, like, why, woven piece, cotton sew woven pieces have so much more varieties in shapes and silhouettes, but why sweaters are always kind of the blocked panels? And I wanted to looking into that, and then challenge myself to come up with the different silhouette and shapes that is still fully fashion, nothing cotton sew, so it's not gonna unravel the sweater. So that was also the focus. And this pattern that you're seeing is from one of the puzzle that you're seeing inside. And then I really zoomed in and just imagine, what if this is my center front and this is my waist, and I start to draping from that as a starting point. So yeah, the upper part is from the puzzle, and then lower part is the cotton sew jersey fabric. So I cut into fabric as same shape as puzzle pattern I created up there. And then I start to draping with it. Okay, so this is the blue puzzle coat dress. And then the one you're seeing is the same process, but with a different color block. So this one is more the orange oriented. And the next page you're seeing is my 7 or 8 looks of the collections, all in flats. Okay, so next page is more of the process picture. And then this is my technical drawing. So you can see the flat pattern and the measurements. And this is final look finished by Shima Seiki knitting machine. Yeah, so this is the final sweater pieces. And these are all like fully fashion and then in tarsia. So they are color blocks in a stripe, or they use the intarsia machine to create the one-piece panel knitting. And this is another tech bag. I want to show you that all the information that you see is the necessary data that factory needs to know. So there is, let me see, there's the trimming, the orange, and number is the corn number, the yarn information, and 3 8-inch tubular and 25-inch long, and how many ends I'm using, like one end and measurement. So if I want to recreate this and reproduce, then I can, because I have the all the data captured very clearly in there. And this is the final pieces of the sweater as well. And what you're seeing is the installation pictures. So these are all the final looks finished in fully fashion sweater. And the pattern pieces that you are seeing in the ceiling, hanging on the ceiling or on the floor or the wall is the actual garment pattern pieces. And I was also presenting during the New York Fashion Week. So these are my color block code and decode collection. And then now I wanted to regenerate that into Cloth 3D software for all of my knit pieces. And also the reason I wanted to regenerate is also to test it out. Can I also do very draping piece in Cloth 3D? I mean, it was a little bit more time consuming to do like draping with 3D software, but it was possible. And of course, I used the Shima Seiki software to generate the knit stitches and draping and colors. So these are like 16 gauge jersey stitches. And yes, this is the final video. I wanted to show you what's more possible, like the possibilities in 3D fashion and virtual fashion. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so this is my presentation and thanks for watching, everyone. I hope that was very helpful for you and you enjoyed watching. Thank you, Regna.
Thank you so much, Soojin. This was amazing and so interesting. And you have here really nice comments, amazing work, and amazing, yeah. So this is really great and so interesting how technology is important in the way of doing things in a more sustainable way. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, everyone. Bye.